California State Senator presents bill to discriminate against financial institutions that do business with gun manufacturers. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like my channel and like my content, you can support me through the links in the description box below, and anything is appreciated. Also, to Connecticut residents who spoke out against the proposed Connecticut Bill 5653, which is an excise tax on ammunition, the turnout was amazing, and we definitely outnumbered those who were for the bill. I want to appreciate everyone who submitted testimony and also who did the Zoom part of the discussion, and we definitely made our voices heard. But let's talk about this. This is out of California. There's a state senator there who's presenting a bill that's basically is discriminating against institutions that support gun manufacturers. I'm going to jump over here to this. This is from the Truth About Guns website, titled California Bill Would Mandate Banking Discrimination Against Gun Manufacturers. Okay, I'm going to come right down to here. State Senator David Min introduced SB 637, which requires that California's public finances cease business with any banks or lenders that have business relationship with firearms manufacturers. The bill would affect every aspect of California's finances, including municipal bonds, capital projects, and the state's debt. Okay, I'm going to come down here, and this basically is some states that have made laws that are contrary to this, saying if you do discriminate against institutions that do finance gun manufacturers, you can do that as a private business, but we're not going to allow you to do anything or to compete with any state-funded or taxpayer-funded entities. But it would be easy to say this is California taking an opposing track to what Texas did with the Firearms Industry Non-Discrimination Act. That's a law that states if corporate banks hold discriminatory policies, they can't compete for state or municipal contracts. Those corporate banks are free to discriminate if they choose, but forfeit the ability to profit from Texas taxpayer-funded contracts. Similar legislation has been introduced in Congress by U.S. Rep. Jack Bergman and U.S. Senator Steve Daines. Senator Kevin Cramer introduced the Fair Access to Banking Act, which would require banks to provide access to services, capital, and credit based on the objective risk assessment of individual customers rather than subjective, broad-based decisions affecting whole categories or classes of customers. Several states are considering their own FIND acts, including Iowa, Montana, Kentucky, and West Virginia. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis recently announced he's seeking similar legislation for his state. The difference between these laws and California's legislation is that California's proposal requires corporations to discriminate for the sole reason that firearm manufacturers are in business of making guns. That's nothing to sneeze at, given California's economy is poised to be the world's fourth largest at $3.4 trillion, according to the World Economic Forum. It's set to surpass Germany's economy. Okay, coming down here, Senator Min's proposed legislation is a state-level Operation Choke Point. Now, if you remember that was something, I believe it was during the Obama administration, where they were attacking finance institutions, specifically more like credit card companies, from preventing them to process transactions that were involving firearms. But the illegal coercion of the Department of Justice and Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation to discriminate against firearms manufacturers and businesses. A House of Representatives Oversight and Government Reform investigation found that the FDIC included federally licensed firearms retailers and other companies in the firearms and ammunition industry, some of the most heavily regulated businesses in the country, on a list of risky businesses without evidence or justification. Senator Min's bill would codify that. He's no stranger to anti-gun legislation. He authored the bill that ended the sale of firearms and ammunition on state property, which ended gun shows on state fairgrounds. The bill, though, might be facing legal headwinds. Specifically, it could be run headlong into the Commerce Clause. That's the part of the U.S. Constitution that gives Congress the sole power to regulate interstate commerce. Senator Min's bill would deny business to any corporate entity unless it adopts California's mandate that those businesses refuse business to law-abiding, credit-worthy firearm manufacturers. Given the size of California's economy, this is a direct threat to firearm manufacturers, which compromise a constitutionally protected industry. If the government forces the industry out of existence by threat of economic might, it is unlawfully limiting the ability of the firearms industry and the banks to provide financial services from conducting interstate commerce. That's a responsibility of Congress to regulate, not California. And of course, this bill would run foul of the Second Amendment. The goal of this bill, obviously, is to drive the firearms industry out of existence, and with it, the ability of law-abiding Americans to exercise their right to acquire firearms for lawful purposes, including self-protection. It will shutter the industry that provides the tools law enforcement uses to protect American communities and the U.S. military to defend the homeland. Now, I want to come out of that. So, why am I bringing this one up? Because this is another move in a long line of moves to circumvent the Constitution through legislation. Obviously, looking at this, you can understand that the foundation of this is to prevent firearm manufacturers from getting credit to keep their businesses going, or to even process their own banking. There is a long line of these kinds of legislation that are in the works in states across the country. And we need to really pay attention to this because they are circumventing the Constitution by doing this, because they are making it harder for people to exercise that right. This is nothing new, unfortunately. This is, once again, I think that once again, I talked about this before, but this is, once again, another step in the panic over the P.A.N decision. If you remember, a lot of upcoming court cases that have gone through lower courts, the P.A.N decision has been the anchor for a lot of these cases to be ruled unconstitutional. The 80% receiver rule, the arm brace rule, a lot of these are falling because of P.A.N. And this here is just another dirty move to circumvent that, to circumvent P.A.N and to circumvent the Constitution through legislation. And we should pay attention to every single one of these that come up, because it once again is going to diminish our rights under the Constitution. And once again, I wanted to keep you people informed as to what's going on across the country, because what's happening in California is something that could very easily spread to other states, especially those that have a penchant for an anti-gun position. New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, so forth and so on. So we got to pay attention to what's going on elsewhere, because it could very, very easily come to other states. And as we've seen, especially in Connecticut, this governor we have is pulling out all the stops to basically nullify that right in the state. But once again, keeping you informed and giving you more information, this whole article will be in the description box. There's obviously more to it, but I just wanted to get the meat and potatoes out there for you to see. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time the video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.